Hello and welcome back to another video, and today it is another edition of non-league news, all the big stories from around non-league football this week. So make sure you leave a like on the video. Let's try and smash 40 likes on the video. We managed to do it last week, so let's do it again this week. Let's try and smash 40 likes. Subscribe if you're new, doing loads of absolute videos, non-league videos over the season, so make sure you subscribe. And yeah, let's get into the news. Let's go. So, our first story for non-league news is to do with the Iron Bru Cup. The Iron Bru Cup is an international competition that features Welsh teams, Scottish teams, Northern Ireland teams and Irish teams. But this year it does feature teams from England. What division? The National League. So the Iron Bru Cup has added National League teams into their division. Only two, and those teams are Sutton and Boreham. Why is that? Because the top two teams to not get promoted will feature in the competition. The draw was out on Thursday, and there was some interesting stuff. So Sutton will be playing against Airdrieonians. I don't know how you say that. So they'll be playing against Airdrieonians, which is just outside of Edinburgh, and I did search it up on Google Maps. So it's about an 8-hour trip to drive to Airdrieonians. And so if you do that, 8 hours up, 8 hours back, and if you round it up a little bit, you know, stops, traffic, you could be thinking about a 24-hour round trip to go. But what a fantastic opportunity for Sutton, and Paul Doswell was obviously really excited by it, and he said that my players prefer playing games as it's much easier to gel your team and get stuff sorted. And Boreham, the other team in the competition, will be playing against Dunfermline, who are in the Ladbrokes Championship, where Airdrieonians are in the Ladbrokes League One, which is going to be a real tough test for Boreham. So we've seen the 5th tier of English football playing against the 2nd tier of Scottish football. It'll be interesting to see how those two team up, and how many Dunfermline fans, I don't know why I'm doing that accent, the Dunfermline fans come down to Boreham, and what sort of attendance will be there, because Boreham aren't known for their great attendances. So I'm interested to see if any Dunfermline fans do go. But the real interesting thing about this is going to be how the non-league clubs do fare against the Scottish teams, and even if they do get further, the Irish teams and the Northern Irish teams and the Welsh teams. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. One thing that's really going to intrigue me is that obviously we've seen Adam Rooney gone down from the Premiership to the National League to join Salford. So it'll be interesting to see who does win. But I do think Sutton will beat Airdrieonians, but I think Boreham will lose to Dunfermline. So yeah, the Iron Bru Cup draw was done. And yeah, that's really exciting news for both Sutton and Boreham fans. On to the next story. So the next story is from Leighton Orient. Bonne signed a 2-year deal at the O's, and he was maybe a bit of rumours about him leaving to go to the EFL, but he's staying, and he will be staying at Orient, staying till 2020. And obviously he was scored quite a few goals for Orient last season, 24 in fact, and it was in the fight with Danny Rowe for that National League Golden Boot, and he played really well. It does show you how much Orient missed him when he goes on to international duty with Zimbabwe, as he did miss the Epsom game when they played us, and he's a really good striker. Orient haven't made too much business this year, so maybe this the contract of Bonne is possibly the best signing this summer window, and he also scored the penalty against Boreham on Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be very happy Orient fans that they've got Bonne for another 2 years, and a young 22-year-old striker, and they'll be hoping to keep hold of him for a long time. Last week we had quite a lot of stadium news with the Super 6 Stadium, but we also had some more stadium news this week. Hampton Richmond will have their stadium called the Jazzara's Beavery Stadium, and it's with local estate agents, so it's a local business. It's good to see that. And Hampton Richmond, they won their first game there 3-2 against a good St Albans side, so maybe it's a little bit lucky, the name, but it's also nice to see they've kept the Beavery Stadium in there, because obviously Hampton Richmond are the Beavers, and again, that's really good. I think more clubs should do this. It is it is just an easy way to get investment, and how hard it is to keep clubs afloat in non-league football. To get that little bit more of investment is really, really important. And commercially, it can be called the Jurors Beavery Stadium, but among the fans, it will be called the Beavery Stadium. So, yeah, that's obviously great news for Hampton Richmond, getting more money into the club. And yeah, a lot more of these stadium deals in non-league news. The story is a bit of a left field one. I've picked this one up. It is the Groundsman of the Year. It goes to Aldershot. The groundsman at Aldershot, he got the Groundsman of the Year. Also awards for Curzon Ashton, FC United of Manchester and Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood have got a brilliant pitch. And obviously they get a lot of investment from Arsenal in there. So Aldershot have the bragging rights for the best pitch, and also Curzon Ashton, FC United of Manchester and Boreham Wood. I think we've got a shout in it for next year. Our pitch is looking pretty good compared to what it was last season. So yeah, Aldershot Groundsman is doing a pretty good job. Our next story comes from Chester. We spoke about them last week losing 8-1, but their stadium have actually got damaged due to a severe storm. So their east stand is, I think, out of use, severe electrical damage. Someone told me the joke that after losing 8-1, the two managers went and just completely went mental and really did damage it. So yeah, they're going to be postponing the next 2 home games. And having that so early on in the season is really annoying. But maybe a little bit of a break for the players could be a little bit helpful for the Chester players. Also, 2 stories affecting Chesterfield and the Spireites. I love saying Spireites for some reason. Now I can say it correctly. Sam Wedgbury, their centre mid, who came in this season from Wrexham, unfortunately got injured at Barrow. And it looks like he'll probably be out for the rest of the season or a really long time. Martin Allen seemed very disappointed by it, and obviously losing a player for that long and just signing for the club looked like he was in good form as well. But after that, they did get some good news at Chesterfield. Kyel Reid, a winger, very experienced, played for Coventry, got promoted with Bradford, and also was loaned on Colchester last season. So yeah, really good signing from him. 29 years of age. Chesterfield have had a very good window. They have lost their last 2 games, but I'm sure they'll get back on track. And yeah, Chesterfield looking really strong. So those are the non-league news stories. I'm going to be just recapping the results and the tables from the 3 divisions. And yeah, let's go to the results and the recap. So the game of the day in the National League was definitely Braintree 3, Havant 4. Really crazy game with lots of goals. There was a goal in the first minute. And then Braintree brought it back to 2-1, and then goals before half time to make it 2-2. Then a bit of a, calm me down a little bit. 20 minutes of no goals. Braintree then make it 3-2, and then 90th minute double goals. Nicky Kabamba and Alfie Rufford make it 4-3 for a huge win for Havant. I think that is their first win. Yeah, that was their first win of the season. That must have been brilliant for the Hawks. Great win for them. The game of the day in the National League North, I believe, was Kidderminster, a 5-2 win over Darlington. Darlington did get an early red card, but Kidderminster really started to show what they're about. 5 goals in against a good Darlington side is a real good performance on their first win of the season. Great for the Kiddie fans. And then game of the day in the National League South was Dartford 0, Willstone 3. Dartford really got smashed. They were really poor. I spoke to a Dartford fan saying how poor they were, but Bradley Bubb, formerly of Ebbsfleet, playing against Dartford, of course, rivals, and yeah, he managed to score. I think last week against Dartford, he did score against a 1-0 win, so 3-0 win for Willstone, massive win there. If we then look at the National League table, we've got Wrexham top. None of the teams have been able to complete their 100% record, but Wrexham are top, 13 points. Great return for the new manager of Sam Ricketts. Ebbsfleet, 10th in the league. We've got a great away form. We just need to sort out that home form. We'll be all right. Barrow, 11th, doing a decent job. They've looked pretty solid. Salford starting to climb up that league a little bit. Last week they were in the relegation zone, but now 2 wins from 2. They're starting to look stronger and what we expected at the start of the season. Then we look at the bottom. Maidenhead, bottom of the league currently with Dagenham and Redbridge. 2 teams that people will expect to be down there. But Maidenhead conceding the most goals of 10 conceded. That's really poor. And only 4 scored and 1 point. Not looking great for Maidenhead. And also we look at other stats. Actually the most conceded has been Dover with 12. That's pretty poor. And the least scored by a team, Boreham Wood, only 2. Losing Morgan Ferry and some of their attacking talents has, I think, maybe hurt them a little bit. Then got Aldershot only with 2 as well. They got their first win of the season. They'll be buzzing with that. And also, if we look at the bottom 3, Braintree, Barnet. Barnet would have been making a real poor start. Of course, losing to us 3-0. If we then look at the National League North table, we got Chorley. Chorley are absolutely smashing it at the moment. 5 wins from 5. We then look down. We've got Hereford doing okay. Boston United doing really, really well. 12 points from possible 15. There's pretty much a big gap from 11th to 1st. There's already 11-point gap. So Chorley doing fantastically well at the top there. Curzon doing a really good job to be in 10th. Then at the bottom of the table, we've got Nuneaton, who only on 2 points. I think FC United managed to got their first win of the season. They've already conceded 13 goals. They're conceding quite a few. Southport managed to get their first win of the season as well. Guiseley are not doing too great. Haven't got their first win of the season. Marcus Bignett is not doing too great. Chesterfield only played 3 games, so they'll be hoping to get, after that the stadium sorted, they'll be hoping to get some wins together. So that's the National League North. Look at the National League South. Got Billericay currently topping it, 13 points, tied with Concord. Again, don't know why I put them bottom. I should have really done a much better decision there. Also got Woking up there. Obviously, they lost their first game of the season against Wealdstone. Wealdstone are doing a really, really good job. They look really, really solid in 5th. Torquay, we're hoping for some better results. Only 2 wins from a possible 5. Then look at the bottom of the table. East Thurrock, the only team from the 3 leagues to not get a point. They've lost all 5 of their first games. Weston-super-Mare yet to get a win. Same with Hungerford and Truro. Again, we spoke about Truro last week. They seem to be still struggling. And obviously don't have an experienced manager in yet. Haven't got a new manager in. Hampton Richmond, again, the team that were up there last season, struggling a little bit. But hopefully they can be okay. So yeah, non-league news. Hope you did enjoy the video. Please leave a like on it. Comment all your thoughts on what I talked about today. Are you happy that Matt Bonne signed a new contract? Are you travelling up to Airdrieonians? Are you going to Boreham Wood versus Dunfermline? So yeah, please leave a like on the video. Let's try and smash 40 likes. Let's get consistent. We hit 40 likes. I'll be more likely to do some more non-league news. So if you do like it, please leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. Recently at 3K. Recently at 3.1K actually. So big thanks for that. And yeah, hope you did enjoy the video. And I'll see you all later. See you later.